Live, local, breaking now. From WSFA 12 News, this is Breaking News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We start with some breaking news. Prattville Police, along with other law enforcement agencies, are searching for a missing boy tonight. Police say the young boy was last seen this afternoon in the Candlestick Park area there in Prattville. Right now, they're not releasing his name, but gave us a description saying that this was an 8-year-old black male, last seen wearing an orange shirt and cameo pants. This is a shot from the scene earlier today when they began their search before dark. Watauga County Search and Rescue, along with Aaliyah's Aviation Unit, have been used to try and find this missing boy. Police say the child has run away before, and they asked us to wait to share the information until they had requested some assistance from the media. They have now asked for our help, so we're putting the word out there, and we will continue to update you on that situation as we get more information. Fire investigators have now determined a cause of an apartment fire that happened early this morning here in Montgomery. Officials say an electrical short from a wall outlet was what sparked the fire in a bedroom of an apartment there on the 700 block of North University Drive. That apartment, as you might be able to see from the video there, is really extensively damaged because of the fire and the smoke and the water it took to put out that fire. All the occupants inside, however, were able to get out before fire crews arrived. Jackson Hospital today hosting an open house in order to show off their completely renovated urology unit. And WSFA 12 News reporter Samantha Day was there. She's up in our newsroom now to tell us about it. Samantha.
Hey, John. Well, there was a lot going on at the open house today, from new technology to new art collections, but the main focus was on healing. From the healing powers of their new piece of technology, the BK Fusion, which helps diagnose prostate cancer, to the halls that were lined with artwork that doctors say creates a less intimidating and more welcoming environment for patients and their families. A new piece of cutting-edge technology that can detect prostate cancer earlier and more accurately. It's called BK Fusion, and Jackson Hospital is the first hospital in the U.S. to offer it.
I find it earlier, which gives patients a lot more options.
Before, hospitals say prostate cancer was biopsied randomly, but now with the help of BK Fusion, they no longer have to guess.
We don't have to guess where the abnormality is. We're actually able to see it, and now we have the ability to not only see it, we have the ability to hit it.
He says the new technology has made Jackson Hospital a hit, and that patients no longer have to travel to get treated.
Now we brought all that equipment, all that technology, all that innovation here to Jackson Hospital, and we're able to offer it locally. So we are seeing patients come from further distances to be able to get what they used to have to travel distances to get.
Along with BK Fusion, Dr. Richardson says art can also heal.
Understanding that the arts can actually enhance our lives and it can relieve stress, I think it's a wonderful thing.
That's why they held a photo contest featuring the River Region landmarks, landscapes, and architecture. And one participant whose photograph was selected says he hopes his picture brings a smile to patients' faces.
Most people that see the hospital is for unpleasant reasons most of the time, and so it's nice if you can share something with them.
There were over 500 entries in the contest, and only 54 were selected. John.
Okay, Samantha, thank you. And those weren't the only pieces of art on display at today's open house there at Jackson Hospital. There was also a special unveiling of the Flowers for Mom collection that was created by a local woman for her mom who's suffering from Alzheimer's. Since her mother's diagnosis, she takes a picture of a flower each day to showcase the beauty of life. Each picture of a flower on the wall is different and was hand-selected by individuals who want to honor their mother or their grandmother.
The project is a triple crown for Jackson Hospital. We are beautifying the hall for our patients and family members and visitors. We are honoring in a permanent way people's mothers or grandmothers, and we're also making money for the foundation to further our projects.
If you would like to purchase a flower picture for your mom, we've placed a link in the Write It Down section of WSFA.com to tell you how to do that. Well, tonight in Montgomery, it was night one of the Alabama Dance Theater's Stars by the Riverfront. Performers took to the Riverwalk Amphitheater to show off a set of challenging ballet dances. These dancers have been preparing for weeks now during an intensive seminar to learn the dances.
It is so exciting because each time you perform something so difficult like this, it's something that you put in your belt, like you learn from, and you just get better. So it's a lot of hard work, but you just learn from it and you get stronger.
And Stars on the Riverfront continues tomorrow night at 7:30. Incidentally, that event is free down there at Riverfront. Well, taking a peek right up, Dexter, to the Capitol, it might have felt just a tiny bit cooler over the course of the weekend, and let's find out how that managed to happen. Let's go over into the Storm Center and meteorologist Vernon Turner.
Well, how it happened, John? Well, we dealt with the cold front Saturday, brought showers and storms through the area, and behind it, dry air. And that dry air continues to flow into the state. As you can see, this is a look at the current water vapor imagery, and not a lot of moisture over us right now. We dealt with partly cloudy skies, so there was some moisture there, just a little bit, enough to have those puffy white cotton ball clouds, fair weather clouds. But dry air will continue to flow into the state overnight and through the early morning hours of our Monday. Temperatures may start off a bit chilly to some. It's all relative, folks. Definitely a much cooler start tomorrow than what we've seen the past month or so. What we're seeing, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s early on at 6 a.m. across portions of central Alabama. The one thing, though, about dry air, it heats very efficiently as we go through our Monday morning. Look how temperatures climb by lunchtime, where it'll be in the low to mid 80s. So not as hot as the past couple of weeks, but still we're in for another warm day for the first day of the work week. But here's your first alert. Over the next 2 weeks, long-range computer models are either putting temperatures at or slightly below average. Good news there if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of the heat and the humidity. But the weather forecast isn't all good news. We do have some showers and storms in the way, and that humidity will creep back in a little bit. We'll talk details coming up in a few short minutes, John.
Okay, Vernon, thank you very much. We want to take you back out to Prattville now. We have a live scene here, or a live look at the scene there where they're searching for a missing 8-year-old boy. We've told you about this. He was last seen this afternoon around Candlestick Park there in the Prattville area. We don't have his name. They aren't releasing that just yet, but we know that this is an 8-year-old African-American boy last seen wearing an orange shirt and cameo pants. There are a number of law enforcement agencies out looking for this young boy right now. We understand he has run away before. In fact, earlier today, law enforcement asked us to kind of hold off on talking about this because they felt like maybe he might have wound up back home, but he hasn't, and it's after dark now. It's after 10 o'clock, so of course there are a lot of worried folks. So once again, an 8-year-old African-American boy wearing an orange shirt and cameo pants. If you happen to spot him anywhere around, or a boy that looks like that anywhere around the Prattville area, of course, be sure to call 911 immediately. We'll keep an eye on that situation there for you and hopefully have a good news update on that situation shortly, but we'll keep you posted on that. President Trump announcing this week via Twitter that he will ban transgender people from serving in the military. Trans men and women have been able to serve openly in the military since June of last year, when then Defense Secretary Ash Carter ended a ban. This could impact thousands of service members, from enlisted all the way up to officers. Alabama vet Cassandra Williamson is a transgender vet who served in a time when she says she could not be her authentic self. Once the ban was lifted last year, she was overjoyed that other trans women and men could no longer have to really hide who they are. She says this decision by President Trump now feels like a rug has been pulled out from under thousands who are serving.
We've spent a lot of money training them. Lots and lots of money has gone into training these people to be exceptionally good at the stuff they volunteered to want to do. But yet here we are, rounding them all up and saying, nope, we're just going to waste all that money spent on you and throw you out the door. It's not worth it.
A study done by the RAND organization estimated that gender transition-related medical treatments could cost the military between $2.4 million and $8.4 million annually. Well, coming up tomorrow, General John Kelly, retired General John Kelly, will take over as Chief of Staff. Republicans say they hope Kelly will bring some stability to the West Wing. This as President Trump pushes the GOP to not give up on repealing and replacing Obamacare. NBC's Jennifer Johnson has more on that tonight.
President Trump having a Saturday night dinner at his Washington, D.C. hotel with incoming Chief of Staff General John Kelly. Insiders hope Kelly will bring order to a chaotic White House, even over new communications director Anthony Scaramucci, who has openly and graphically criticized other cabinet members. On Monday, staffers expect to learn about the new chain of command.
I will speak with General Kelly and the president about that, as I'm sure Anthony Scaramucci will. I think we're all very curious and very excited to have our first formal meeting.
Some Republicans believe a less dysfunctional White House under Kelly will help the president get his agenda back on track.
I think he will bring some order and discipline to the West Wing.
What we need now from a chief of staff is ensuring that everybody who works in the White House is on the president's agenda.
The president was unhappy former chief of staff Reince Priebus couldn't get the GOP to deliver on health care. But he's still pushing that, tweeting Sunday, "Don't give up, Republican senators. The world is watching. Repeal and replace."
83 insurance companies fled the health insurance market last year. That's before this administration came in. This system is imploding upon itself, and that's what we're trying to take care of.
But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said it's time to move on. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
And the White House even suggesting that lawmakers cancel their entire August recess in order to continue to work on health care. The Department of Defense says it has successfully tested the Terminal High Altitude Area Missile Defense System, or THAAD. The agency posted video of the test showing the THAAD weapon system tracking and intercepting a ballistic missile. An Air Force C-17 launched that missile over the Pacific Ocean during that test. The Air Force also flying 2 B-1 bombers over the Korean Peninsula over the weekend in direct response to North Korea's latest missile test. The U.S. was joined by South Korean and Japanese fighter jets for that 10-hour round trip, and after the flyover, they returned back to their base in Guam. North Korea test-fired a ballistic missile on Friday that it claims could reach the U.S. mainland. It was the second test this month of an intercontinental long-range missile by North Korea. The president slamming China via Twitter, saying, quote, "I am very disappointed in China. Our foolish past leaders have allowed them to make hundreds of billions of dollars a year in trade, yet they do nothing for us with North Korea, just talk. We will no longer allow this to continue. China could easily solve this problem." Russian President Vladimir Putin says 755 American diplomats have to leave Russia. He told Russian broadcasters this move was in response to what he calls illegal restrictions imposed on Russia by the U.S. The Senate passed a new round of sanctions last week aimed at punishing Moscow for interfering in the 2016 presidential election. Well, for new drivers or those looking to take on another type of vehicle, preparing for that written test or that test you have to take can be a little intimidating. Coming up next, find out one of the libraries in our area that is offering to make those preparations a whole lot easier.